Did the Arizona Cardinals avoid a catastrophe with their top starting cornerbacks? We got maybe best case scenario. And Johnny Venerable, we hear from Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray about MHJ's targets.
Plus, Baldy, Brian Baldinger from NFL Network stops by. He chats it up about MHJ. What does he need to see more of? Plus, this budding defensive secondary in Denzel Burke. Could it be another star in the making? PHNX Cardinals starts now. Hey, welcome in. Live from Studio K, presented by our friends, our dear friends at Circle K. It's the PHNX Cardinals podcast, your premier, #1 in the world, Arizona Cardinal podcast. Kindly, mercifully, like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star wherever you get your programming. I'm Johnny Venerable. He is my co-host, Brack in Studio K. Noah Man, producer extraordinaire behind the mic. Good day. Good day to be a Cardinal fan. Got some good news with regard to a slew of injuries. Don't cancel the season. We're back.
We are so back, right? Shoot me straight, Doc. And he did. And he got some pretty decent news. Not the best news, but pretty decent news. What's going on, everybody in the chat? Our new members out there. I love it. Dropping the emojis throughout. Fantastic. Sign up. Join the club. Let's go. Let's fire off those Johnny Chug emojis. Let's fire off the HTL in the lives. I love it. I love it because today, as most days, we're brought to you by our friends over at Bet365. Of course, Bet365, never ordinary. And download the Bet365 app. Use the code PHNX365. Deposit $10, place a bet for $5, and get $200 in bonus bets, JV.
Fired up with our friends at Bet365. Fired up to make some money this weekend. Make some money, honey. I've done pretty well the first 2 weekends of the NFL season. We are, quick programming note, pushing hold or fold the line today to Friday. Damon Dog is out crushing it at U of A Media Day, Bo.
Yeah, big heavy hitter down there in the old Pueblo, hanging out, talking some U of A hoops. You want to check out all the sights and sounds from Wildcats Media Day? Our guy Damon and Kevo, they're on it. They're going to have some great interviews up here on the channel. Ozzy, what's going on? I love the fire emoji. And I love what we're talking about today. Even with, we got Baldy, who's going to be breaking down this 2-0 start. But, let's talk about what we found out about 9:45 this morning as me and the Arizona Cardinals press corps paraded into the media room, and Jonathan Gannon graced us with his presence and gave us this little nugget. Johnny?
Couple updates that I'm sure you guys are itching at. Garrett Williams and LJ Collier will both go to IR. Potential for both of them to come back this year. Max Melton will be out there today. Will Johnson will not be out there today. And we'll kind of see how the week goes for those two.
I am wrong. I said nearly best case scenario. This is best case scenario based on what we were hearing. So I'll get your reaction. But no ACL for Garrett Williams is a huge bullet that this team does not have to deal with.
Yeah.
We thought initially, based on how it looked, based on what we were hearing behind the scenes, like Garrett Williams, to me, even if he doesn't come back, is not rehabbing the entire offseason.
Mm-hmm.
Go into this offseason healthy and can get back to being the kind of football player that we all know he can be, one of the best slot corners in the NFL. But knowing him, I would expect him to try to come back this year. And like, not to disrespect LJ Collier, but like I thought Garrett Williams was going to need surgery, major surgery for an ACL. So let's start there before we get to the guys, Bo, that we assume will play soon.
Yeah, no, I mean, I completely echo those comments. And the team made a move where they signed Darren Hall from the practice squad, a move that we anticipated. And then they also added a couple of defensive linemen to the squad as we lost our sweet prince, Elijah Simmons, to the Bucks. Was it their 53-man roster? They signed him away.
Yeah.
So good. Congrats to Simmons, a budding prospect that we liked since he was signed as undrafted rookie free agent. And then they signed Zach Carter, and they bring back Byers, according to a report to the practice squad. So adding some depth there that you could see Walter Nolan, fill out here in potentially 2 weeks. We'll see what the 16th overall pick in his timeline is. But we got to continue to talk about these DBs first and foremost, because that's the news of the day. But I completely echo what you're saying. I mean, you avoid having to go through another lengthy rehab process where one of your leaders, one of your top players, you're not going to be without him for a significant amount of time. I mean, I think you're in a position to weather that storm without Garrett Williams.
Yeah. I mean, no disrespect, B.J. Ojulari is still not back.
Right.
B.J. Ojulari may not be back for several months. I don't know what his status is. Will Hernandez is working his way back, hopefully by October. And those are guys who tore B.J. Ojulari tore his ACL last summer. So I know not everything is cyclical. Some guys have different recovery timelines, but the main point is that he does not have to go through the rigors of that. Now, you want to make sure he's healthy before you try to bring him back. But to your point, Jalen Thompson can play slot. Taylor Demerson slides into his role. You've got some interchangeable pieces at that position.
Yeah.
Not to be disrespectful, but I think Max Melton and Will Johnson, your outside corners, being the ones that will not go on injured reserve. We'll talk about their status here in a second. In a weird way, I think that's a bigger deal because I think they were less equipped to find supplemental options at outside corner. Jalen Thompson can play a really high-level slot corner in certain situations for this team.
Yeah. I mean, look, nobody is Garrett Williams.
Nobody.
But you do have, the drop-off isn't as significant as you could potentially face at outside corner. You have guys that can come in and they can play a different brand of ball, but still impactful ball. Darren Hall, who we're kind of excited about, who we've seen make plays throughout training camp and preseason 2 consecutive years, has kind of been stuck in that logjam where he just played the wrong position. He played, similar to what Garrett Williams. He was just never going to see the field.
Yeah.
And you got 3 safeties ahead of him as well. So you can bring him in, and I don't think there's going to be this steep decline from the productivity. So I think, you were already equipped as far as the back end here in the slot, interior wise, to kind of move forward with an injury like this, to where outside you are already so thin, right? Sean Murphy Bunting in the offseason, Starling Thomas to start training camp. And then you suffer not 1, but 2 injuries to your top outside corner guys, and Max Melton to start against Carolina, and then Will Johnson to follow up, not once, but twice got dinged up. To see Max Melton out there today and him have a very real chance of playing, it was like seeing a ghost. I mean, I remember this with Budda Baker a couple of years ago,
right.
Budda Baker, high ankle sprain. Budda's going to miss weeks, right? You walk out to the practice field and he's hopping up and down here, and you're like, what the hell? So it was similar. Max Melton, no, he didn't have any rap, no nothing, and he was moving around fine. So that is a huge development for this defensive secondary.
So I think we would both assume, barring anything unforeseen, that Max Melton is going to play this weekend, or at least try to play. What about Will Johnson, Bo? You chatted with him at his locker. Here is the 47th overall pick.
Yeah, really just scramble drill, straining on the plate. Felt my groin.
How you feeling?
Feel a lot better.
Hey, you able to go this weekend?
Really just taking it day by day right now.
Are you optimistic that you might be able to go this week?
Yeah, I'm optimistic about everything, really.
Just that adorable grin that we just all love. Will Johnson, I think probably a long shot to play this weekend. You never know. He'd have to practice, Bo, tomorrow. And he did not practice today. I think your target for him, don't be greedy. You get Max Melton back against Mac Jones potentially, that's an omen. Wait, play Will Johnson against Sam Darnold at home next Thursday.
I think that's best case scenario.
Right.
You're dealing with groin, I don't know, abdominal. They're calling it, it's a groin on the injury report, which is good. You get away from those core area, like muscles that you're dealing with that sometimes could trend towards surgery. It seems like we're out of the woods there. Can you get him up to, 70, 80% to where I think he could go out there and compete? But you like the guys now with one of the starters back in there.
Right.
Like either or, it's interchangeable. You put Denzel Burke opposite Will Johnson, you seem okay with it. You put, them opposite Max Melton. I think you got guys that you feel, especially with this elevated play of the defensive front seven, I think you feel pretty decent about it.
It's a long season. You can't risk guys having a prolonged absence. Look what they did with Walter Nolan. I mean, in a weird way, I do feel like should they win this weekend, do they even sit him next Thursday? And they're just like, we're going to ride this out. We're playing with house money a little bit. It's kind of like the Niners, maybe their approach with Mac Jones. But I do feel like, Bo, the landscape of this team, night and day from yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about street free agents and Stephon Gilmore and trades. And it's just like, nope. A month from now, 3 weeks from now, you're going to have both your starting outside corners and you're going to be fine. And you're going to add the 16th overall pick here shortly. So we have not seen the best of this defense yet, which is, I think, the best part about it. And speaking of that, advanced analytics, we've been talking about it all week. Drew Petzing, it has not
nerd stuff,
big time nerd fraud stuff. Get your calculators out, nerds. The number one rated defensive coordinator through 2 weeks, according to advanced metrics. Noah, man, let's see it. Nick Rallis, number one, coverage and market efficiency, given team constraints, edges out Jesse Minter, Chargers DC, Terrell Austin, who's a great defensive coordinator for the Steelers, Mike McDonald, who basically calls his own defense for Seattle, and then Jeff Hafley, who's doing great stuff with Green Bay. Nick Rallis, number one. On the flip side, the worst is Matt Eberflus, to no surprise.
Matt Eberflus, yeah, look at the Bears down there as well. I was just trying to check how many of these teams the Cardinals will face this season. But yeah, you got Eberflus there in week 9. That game can't get here soon enough. But yeah, I mean, look, TI-83 was working some magic today, getting Rallis to somehow get into these numbers. You like it. I mean, I think it just kind of, it's good, Johnny, to see numbers back up what you thought you already knew. And that's that this is a budding star as far as, coaching minds in this league, and Nick Rallis at the young age of 32.
I'm so bullish on this unit. And I think that fourth quarter was an anomaly. And I think the Cardinals dictated that game against Carolina. Then they screwed around. And listen,
and that's part of this.
No excuse. But you would assume when the intensity's ramped up, this defense is going to answer. And that's why you have to like the Cardinals' chances this weekend. Mac Jones, Brock Purdy or not. You have to like what this defense brings to the table. Another week of elite conditioning for Sweat and Calais and Dalvin Tomlinson, who all had TFLs this past week. Baron Brown has been playing well. We're going to talk to Baldy about the state of this defense. Plus, right around the corner, Bo, you had a chance to connect with the franchise quarterback, Kyler Murray, as well as Marvin Harrison Jr. You're going to hear both. It's PHNX. Fired up here on a football Wednesday, 2-0, feeling undefeated like our friends at Zen Leaf Dispensary. They'll keep you in first place, whether you're gearing up for game day, winding down after a hike up Camelback, just trying to recover after today's brutal Diamondbacks defeat. What was that in extra innings? Do it with our friends at Zen Leaf Dispensary. They're your go-to cannabis spot. Flowers, vapes, edibles, all from the brands you trust. Again, they've got locations across the valley, Chandler, Gilbert, North Phoenix. Again, swing by before kickoff. Do yourself a favor. Do the online order pickup. And for a limited time only, use the bonus code ZEN, Z-E-N, PHNX. That's ZEN, PHNX for 50% off for your first order. Half off right now. Check out their website and the link in the description below. And again, visit one of their 8 Valley locations. Again, Zen, PHNX, Zen Leaf. Great weed, great service every time.
Got on some brand new shorts today that I love right now because they're breathable and also pretty fashionable, if I may say so myself. Get lots of comments on them, and all the gear that I got from Mack Weldon. feeling a lot of compliments. It's been really nice. They're like, oh, you're not wearing just straight up Kirkland gear any longer. That's great. Way to upgrade. Mac Weldon. Yeah. I mean, it's whether you're going to the gym or you're going out for a night on the town or you got a business meeting. They got something that's versatile for all those things and much more. Johnny's got a brand new button down. I've got some new pants that I love from Mac Weldon. Check them out right now. As of course, it's perfect wear for the summer. It's sitting here in the still hot season here in the Valley of the Sun. Mac Weldon's got those breathable clothes to keep you cool, comfortable, and stylish. Get some shirts, shorts, load up on some hoodies for the fall coming up. MacWeldon.com. Get 25% off your first order with the code PHNX. That's right. MacWeldon.com. Get 25% off your first order of $125 or more with the code PHNX. MacWeldon.com. Promo code PHNX.
Big thanks to all of our partners, especially our friends with Big Brothers, Big Sisters. Again, we've got some big and little news to share. All of our super chats this month going to our friends at Big Brothers, Big Sisters, All-City, including us here at PHNX. We're teaming up with Big Brothers, Big Sisters for an exciting 3-year partnership. Excited to support youth movement that makes a difference. Learn more. Get involved right now. bbbs.org/allcity. Please consider becoming a big or little or helping out a little near you. We appreciate all of our partners. Big Brothers, Big Sisters doing big stuff. BeBigNow.org. Cardinals like to do big stuff on offense. Is it going to happen? Where are the big plays, Bo? You had a chance to connect with Kyler Murray. What did he have to say about his targets to MHJ?
Let's hear from him.
You know, I say it every time. Like, I wish all of them could get 10 targets a game, of course. There's only one ball. You know, we've been playing this game for a long time. We all understand how it goes. Some days he's going to get 10. Some days he might get 3, whatever it is. And Mike might get 8. You know, you never know. But each one of those guys are ready to make plays and do their job at a high level. No, we got a great group of dudes that, you know, I'm sure, you know, inside, yes, they all want the ball more. Hell, I want to give them the ball more. But yeah, that goes back to the first question. Like, yeah, we have to run the ball. There has to be at times we got to run the ball. We got to hand the ball off. Do I wish we could throw it every play? Of course, but that's just not how this game works. You know, so we got to keep the defense honest. But yeah, I'm sure everybody wants the ball more.
The chat's already in tune with what I was about to say, but he's like, yeah, it might be games where Mike gets 8 targets. Kyler, that's never happened. That's never happened. Marvin and Michael are not getting 8 to 10 targets. And I think that's my point of contention. It's like, we're not taking targets away from X player and giving it to the X player.
Sure.
These targets just don't exist for the receivers. Like
for the receivers, yeah.
Yeah. You want to take the targets away from a running back and allocate it downfield to a receiver. Now we're talking, but it's not like, hey, Zay Jones, I can't get you 6 targets because they're all going to Marv or Michael or Trey or whomever. Like they're a fugazi. They don't exist. The passing game targets don't exist downfield. All right, rant over.
Let me ask you this, though. When you hear Kyler Murray talk about that and the distribution of targets, I don't want you to get in the head of K1. You can't do that. But right. Where do you feel like that approach, like he's subscribed to it? He's got 100% conviction in it?
I think he's coached to run this offense the way it's being run right now. And if he was deferring from that, then he would be replaced. And then they would get somebody else. I think this is exactly what they want to run offensively. They want to play it safe. They want to play conservative. They want to play defense and special teams. And they'll tell you they're 2-0 right now. And again, I'm not going to sit here and say like you're wrong for doing that. If you're going to, let's see you beat good teams beginning this weekend and next week doing that. But like, do I think this is the offense? He said I'd rather throw it every play, and he knows that's not possible. Mm-hmm. But do I think there's a balance that they're not reaching? Absolutely. But anybody who thinks like Kyler Murray is checking down on his own free will, he's being coached to, yeah, I'm going to go through my progressions, but they're finally an analytically based team. So they go through these scenarios with Kyler likely and say, hey, the likelihood of this completion compared to this, take the easy completion underneath. It's almost, I was thinking about it yesterday. It's almost like Moneyball offense, where it's like, take the walk. They're just giving it to you, right? Yeah. Take the base on balls. Take the check down. They're just giving it to you. How many World Series has Moneyball won? And again, I know it's a different sport. How many Oakland A's, World Championships do we have? Sometimes you got to throw it downfield.
Well, they also didn't have any, like the philosophies that were, I guess, taken from Oakland A's and put in place with teams that spend money. The Boston Red Sox, they won playing Moneyball.
Right.
Just
They did.
so you know. Also, great movie, by the way. I mean, I'd love to recreate the scene with Jonah Hill and Brad Pitt, and he said, Billy, this is Tip Ryman.
I knew you.
You know what he does? He's a run blocker.
We're gonna take him in the third round, but he only blocks. It's gonna work for us.
Let's keep it going as we caught up also with Marvin Harrison Jr. Talking to Kyler Murray about targeting Marvin Harrison Jr. We talked to MHJ. He was asked about seeing targets in this offense.
Yeah, that's a silly conversation, really. We're 2-0. That's the most important thing. I got two big games coming out, one big game this week, so that's really my only focus. Everybody wants the ball. That's just no. Anybody that's a competitor loves the game, loves what they do. Everybody wants the ball. They want to impact the game. But most importantly, it's all about winning.
Love Marv. You'll never make me not love Marv. I don't
Our
care how
humble
this
king. Yeah.
It's such a crock because we go through like draft season and people are like, we just want humility and we want guys who fall in line and love the game. And it's okay. And then now we're like, he's not selfish enough and he doesn't demand the ball enough. And he needs to be like Malik Neighbors. And it's just like, do you know what you want or not? He's an idle teammate. He works his ass off. Does he need to improve? Yes. Is this offense archaic? You bet your ass it is. Just like sometimes people don't know what they want.
Right. It's like people seeking a partner and then it's just like, I just want a nice partner. And then it's like, well, it's pretty vanilla, right? You want a little edge, right?
Can she be a 10? Can she, get nuts with me in Old Town? Like, yeah, those are the things I want. But all those other things I initially said, I also want that.
I think like it might just be a little bit of a longer maturation development process this way, though. Like when you don't have somebody demanding the football and enforcing the issue, though, like you don't have either of the participants here, whether it's Kyler Murray or Marvin Harrison Jr., and certainly not the play caller, to where they're like, we need to force this issue. So it's going to take a little bit longer, I think, as we're seeing, for it to consistently turn into something that I think everybody's going to be excited about. Should we get more into the Kyler Murray conversation? I know Kyler Murray talked more than just Marvin Harrison.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Comments. We heard Kyler Murray about just pushing the ball downfield.
Do I feel like we could be better? Do I feel like we can be more explosive? Yes. But then they were 2-0. Offensively, I think, we went backwards a little bit too much when it comes to penalties and kind of killing ourselves. Move the ball. Okay, bam, boom. Penalty, back, first or second and 20, whatever it is. Like, that stuff right there kills drives. And obviously, and then I had the interception. So being able to be in a position to put that game away a lot earlier, obviously, is what we wanted to do, and not doing is frustrating. But again, I think, going forward, we understand as an offense we got to be better.
A lot of 2-0 talk. A lot of, and again,
I thought that was more of a straightforward answer people wanted to hear, more so than like
Marv humbly brings up 2-0, Kyler brings up 2-0. I guess that's good enough for now because you're playing.
I think there's some awareness there.
Okay,
there's an awareness like that they understand they need to get better. And I asked Gannon this morning, part of his press conference, like, what's the response been from the players? And he was encouraged, and he says, like, and of course, probably more often than not, he's going to say this unless there was a big issue, but like these guys are responding correctly, that they understand that they won, but also there's a lot of corrections to be made. I think Kyler Murray, especially with that response, that was one of the ones I actually really thought from today's press conference was authentic, and that the offense is aware that there's a couple things that they need to be able to be a bigger play offense, and we'll see stats that back that up later in the show, and then also being able to just finish games, not leave that door ajar.
Yeah, let's take a look at the Cardinals' lack of big plays right now. This is via, let's check this out. apologies, I don't have the graphic for who this came from, but most big plays through week 2.
You don't remember who you stole this from?
I took it. I stole it. It's mine now. I'm claiming it. Cardinals are in the bottom half of the NFL in big plays, and what's carrying the baton for this team right now, they have 10 plus or six 10 plus runs. And a lot of that's been Trey Benson. That's been Kyler Murray. The receptions over 20, they are amongst the worst in the NFL. So only worse than the Cardinals in terms of receptions over 20. Broncos, Commanders, Eagles, Saints. Those are the teams that are worse. And then the Cardinals tied with the Vikings and the Titans. So not robust passing games right now. So again, like I know it feels like the Cardinals, Bo, have like been better on 3rd and long. I guess because the bar has been so low. But I think contextualized like this, and apologies, I'll get the source here. It's not where you want to be yet. It's not in a place where you can kind of puff your chest out and say this is trending in the right direction. No. I would ask, like, how many of those 10 or 20 plus completions came in week 2? I'm trying to think. I mean, did most of them come in week 1 against the Saints?
No, I mean, I know Higgins had, I think, a pair of them. It might have been split even.
Okay, right? 2 and 2. Got it.
Because you had Marv, and I think you had Trey in week 1, and then maybe 2 in week 2. Maybe it was just 1 Higgy and 1 Trey in week 2. It doesn't matter. Like 4. You count them on one hand and have a thumb, remaining. It's not enough, right? I think as far as the 3rd and long, that's not what's really at play here. I mean, if you're able to convert and it's 3rd and 11, you're getting 12 yards, that's fine. The ability to put pressure on opposing defenses, that's where you want the explosives to come into play here. You're not getting nearly enough of that. Like you're not stretching the field, you're not taking the top off the defense, and they're able to just kind of stack the box and just play the game of trying to take what your strength is right now, or what you want to be your strength that struggled through 2 games in the run game.
Marcus Moser of Locked On Cowboys, Locked On Dynasty, does a nice job. He had
Great
that
work.
graphic. He's been charting explosives since 2021. So we'll keep an eye on that. We got one more bite here from the franchise quarterback Kyler Murray on improvements from. Did we get that one from week 2? Do we have all 4 of them now?
Oh, let's listen to him.
I felt we played better. Week 2, even though it may not have felt that way, just, based on how the game ended and then not, like I said, putting the game away 2 weeks in a row. But I do believe that we played better as a unit week 2.
I mean, they were better at times, but it's not a finished product. And I think with this team this week, you have to take ownership of the fact your defense might come out and start a little slower, unlike the first 2 games where the defense, outside of that one kind of wonky drive against the Saints, the defense has been excellent for the first 3 quarters of the game.
Yeah.
Can the offense flip the script and say, hey, guys, don't worry. We're going to put the pressure on San Francisco. You guys don't need to bail us out. So they can't get off to a slow start.
Right. No, and in the ending of that game, Carolina specifically, it undid a lot of goodwill that you had done previously in that game. Both sides of the football.
Yeah.
But offensively, you end basically pick 3 and out. Like you're barely on the field, and that's going to be the bad taste left in the mouth of the fan base. Mm-hmm. So, I think that you can make the case. You can look at it. I mean, this was a team that got itself out to a 27-3 lead. Like this is a team that I think when you first look at it, I think it was like 4 of the 5 drives were scoring drives, even though like they weren't touchdown drives, but they were able to take an opponent and then continue to distance themselves. And you can turn your nose up at a lot. Like I don't think when you're up 27-3, things are looking pretty good for the most part.
Yeah, I think we'd all feel better if this team made a statement this weekend.
Yeah.
Scored on several first half drives, touchdowns, and then allowed this defense to say, okay, let's pin our ears back. Let's get after Mac Jones or Brock Purdy. And we're going to finish the job this week. I think the offense has so much room for growth take some chances with what you've seen from this defense. Like, be creative. The creativity, the aggressiveness, it's all stuck in neutral right now. Here's Marvin Harrison Jr. on his impact through the first 2 games.
It's always frustrating when, you may not get the impact that you kind of want in the game, especially when you put in so much work. And, I know my process throughout the week and all the work that I put in throughout, all season and leading up to the game. So when you don't get results that, you want to impact the game, that kind of is frustrating. But at the end of the day, you're very happy that, we're 2-0 sitting here and got a victory.
I felt that quote.
What's that?
I felt that quote.
Yeah. And the question I had asked him at that, because that was one of my questions was, you had the 38-yard DPI and, you could dress it up and you could hear like he didn't come away from a 2-catch, 5-target, 27-yard performance saying like, yeah, a win's a win. And, I feel like he puts in a ton of work into this from the offseason to day in and day out to come away and look at the box score and have to kind of dress it up. It doesn't seem like, Marv's not, I don't think anybody wants to be that. And he wasn't being disingenuous in saying that he was.
I mean, it's hard. It's like, if you and I were to prepare for the show every day, and it's just like you guys are actually going to go on air once a week or twice a week, but I want you to put in the same kind of prep and discussion. It's just like, that's demoralizing. And how do you get better at anything? I don't know. But we asked somebody in the know, Brian Baldinger, around the corner. We're talking Marv, we're talking K1, we're talking this defense. Baldy's breakdowns coming up. Excited for our guy Baldy to educate all of us. Excited for our friends right now at Bet365. Bet365, never ordinary. Again, friends, the football early payout offer has arrived with Bet365. You're a winner if your team goes up by 17 points. It's an instant payout with straight bets, parlay selections marked as winners. Again, download the app today. Use the bonus code PHNX365 when you sign up. Here's the best part with our friends at Bet365. You can get signed up right now. You can deposit $10, place a $5 bet, win or lose, and guess what? You're going to get $200 in bonus bets. If you've never done it before, you're like, Johnny, I don't know how to start. Download the app, PHNX 365, $10 deposit, $5 bet. Throw it away on any bet you want. Doesn't have to win. You're getting $200 that can be used on props, futures, spreads, totals, whatever you want. It's never ordinary with Bet365. And be 21 years and older, physically located here in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Text NEXT STEP to 53342 or visit problemgambling.az.gov, Bo, for more info.
Nothing ups the excitement more of having action on a game with Bet365 than being at the game. And game time, it's going to get you in the door. It's also going to get you probably a parking pass for, pennies on the dollar. It's unbelievable what Game Time's doing. Of course, $20 off your first purchase with the code PHNX. Terms that, of course, apply. You can go to the next Cardinals home game, get in the door for $49. You want to go see the Cardinals? Just debut those rivalry uniforms. Saw those helmets today out there on the practice field today. Looking nice. See them in action for the first time ever. Thursday Night Football in primetime against the Seahawks. Get in under $50. I know the Snakes, they had a just deflating loss today at home. You can go see a Diamondbacks game. $29 Friday night. Watching a team in playoff contention. Do it with Game Time. Pick an upcoming event. Browse through ticket deals on Game Time. Download the Game Time app today. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets. Download it. Create an account. Use the code PHNX for $20 off your first order. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Redeem code PHNX. $20 off. Tap. Ticket. Go. Download the Game Time app today.
And become a sponsor of the show right now via the Supporters Club. For real runs here, true sicko level stuff. We got a couple in the bag. We welcome, how many was it yesterday? 10
11
supporters?
Yeah.
10 or 11, I think. And again, this has been going on for the better part of 2 months right now. If you're wondering how people are getting those sicko emojis like me chugging an adult beverage, you want to become for just $5 a month. Join below. All the perks are detailed in the description. And again, it is the best way to support you, me, and everyone here in this PHNX sports community. Become a supporters club, and you will not regret it. Folks have been waiting for this one. It's Baldy's Breakdowns here. PHNX Cardinals, Bo Johnny, Brian Baldinger, All-City NFL analyst, and Baldy. We sit here cautiously optimistic. This team's 2-0, headed into week 3. Let's talk positives thus far. You've been breaking down film all day on Twitter. Everybody go follow him on Twitter, Baldy's Breakdowns. What have you seen that's encouraging about Jonathan Gannon year 3?
Well, I mean, the defense has made a big step up. Now I know Carolina got back into the game in the fourth quarter, and that you got to finish these games out. You can't let it, come down to a play. And if it does, you're going to be like Denver, and you're going to get beat. So you got to finish when you have a chance. But I mean, Will Johnson, Denzel Burke, Josh Sweat, Calais Campbell. I mean, all the guys they brought in, they all produced. Like whether it was free agency or the draft, all those guys produced on defense. And so that was encouraging to see, because that's where they really kind of it's early. They're ranked in the top 10 defensively right now. So, they kept, the number one receiver, in the draft, this Tet McMillan, kept him out of the end zone. They tried 2-point conversions. They tried to, from the field of play, and they couldn't get the ball to him in the end zone.
Pretty unbelievable to see Calais Campbell at 39 in the 59th minute of a football game come up with his second sack to kind of save the Cardinals behind there. But between the two games, Baldy, between the Saints finish and the Carolina Panthers finish, you had to sweat it out. Was there any common denominator there where the Arizona Cardinals really struggled to shut the door on those games?
Well, they made the plays at the end, to absolutely do it. The week before, Juwan Johnson has got the ball in his hands in New Orleans, and he might score, and Buddha comes in and blows it up and gets it out, and kind of ended that. And I think they did similar type things against Carolina. But honestly, you just can't let it get to that spot. You can't just let these guys sit back. I don't care if it's Spencer Rattler or Bryce Young, or this week it's pretty Mac Jones. You can't let these guys with the ball in their hands, because all the rules are for the offense. So defensive pass interference, illegal contact. Like all these things can impact it. It did the third play of the game when they went downtown to Marvin Harrison and they picked up 38 yards on a pass interference call. They're in the end zone on the opening drive. Like these kind of plays, if you let them hang around a one-score game, and look, the good thing is they're winning one-score games, but you let them hang around these one-score games, it can backfire on you.
Baldy, Cardinals got cautiously optimistic good news in the sense that they went down all 3 of their top cornerbacks against Carolina. Looks like Garrett Williams is going to miss time on IR, but Will Johnson's supposed to come back. Max Melton's already practicing. You broke down some Denzel Burke tape on Twitter. He was kind of not an afterthought in the draft. He played a bunch of big-time college football. He was available to the Cardinals, Ohio State pipeline in the 5th round. Is this a player that's worth a watch here as a rookie in week 3?
I think so. Like, I thought Will Johnson was awesome against New Orleans, and he didn't, and then when Max went down, Denzel had to step up, and they tested him. They went after him, and, he didn't give up anything. And he played the ball in the air, and he played it with his feet and his eyes and not his hands. You have to go, okay, it's a small sample. It's one game. It's Carolina. I get it. But, you're cautiously optimistic. Like, you don't want to just say, okay, but honestly, like they tested him a bunch and he was up to the challenge. And so that Tet McMillan is, he's a big kid. You got to coach. He's very athletic. You go back and watch his YouTube tape in Hawaii. Like this kid is a freak athletic. And then nothing seemed to faze him. And with Xavier Leggett, whoever it was, like I thought he was all over it. So, if they got to put him out there, I feel. And, San Francisco, what they want to do. It's going to be play action. They want to throw the ball in the middle of the field. If he's out there, I feel like he can defend these receivers as good as he defended the receivers last week.
We'll go from, I guess, cautious optimism to skepticism through 2 games as far as this offense goes, Baldy. When you look at this, what's your overall evaluation, I guess, of year 3 under Drew Petzing and year 2 of the Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr. Duo?
Let's see. What did I say? I said, they went to Marvin. I think his first catch was at 11:15 of the second quarter. They tried. He's just not very, like, he just doesn't wow you out there. Like, he just kind of glides, and he doesn't look like he's got a burst. He's not much of a blocker. Like, I don't know. He doesn't really grab your attention right now. They tried to get the ball to him. Obviously, the pass interference call, but he was, made a couple catches, but the ball looks like it'd rather go to Trey McBride. It'd rather go to the running backs right now. He doesn't look like it is a feature. Like, even late in the game, it wasn't Kyler's first look to Marvin Harrison. He was looking to the other side of the field. I mean, if you got a 3-by-2 set, he was looking the opposite side of Marvin there towards the end of the game when they needed some plays. And so it's early. He's got to find the end zone, all these things, but it's not like they're going after him and targeting him like they did, Tetero McMillan, for Carolina the other day.
We pulled some statistics yesterday on the show. The Cardinals target their wide receivers the least amount in the NFL. I get it. You want to be a big physical team. You want to run the football, use tight ends and running backs. You obviously have Trey McBride. I mean, I think blame can go all the way around. Do you think it's a partially a byproduct of this offense?
They had a great 2-minute drive at the end of the first half, and the touchdown throw to Mike Wilson was the right throw. Kyle was going to throw it to the open guy, and he got open, and he put it right where he needed to. When I didn't know that stat, by the way. So I thought it might have been a couple other teams that
they're the worst. They're the worst.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, look, Trey McBride's going to get a lot of targets. Like, he just knows how to get open, and he knows how to read zones. He knows how to read man coverage, and they'll check it down to him. He's very dependable. And so he's going to get 100 catches this year. He's on pace, probably for more than that. But it's going to go, Kyler is going to, I don't think he, look, the interception was the interception, but I think he just wants completions and just to try and stay on track. And, if that's checking it down to, Connor or, Benson or to McBride, that's what he's going to do.
Does that handicap you at all, or is that just the right approach, playing the position?
Well, I mean, look, there's some teams in your division that can flat out score. I mean, the Rams can score. And so, you get in those kind of games, you can't just play like they did the other day and check it down and try to establish a run game. It did come around. It didn't happen early, but it came around eventually. But, in some of these games, we saw, the Giants and Dallas go at it. Some of these games turn into shootouts, and you got to throw it. You got to throw it to win it. And that's just the way the tempo of the game and the scoring, you got to keep up. And so there's going to come a time this year when it's not New Orleans and Carolina. It's going to be a better offense. And you're going to have to play, you're going to have to get in that track meet with those teams, and you better be able to throw it at that pace, or you're going to, last year, I don't want to think about last year, but they couldn't keep up with Minnesota in some of those games late in the season.
Bigger picture. Hey, I'm going to do this one. How about a bigger picture look at the Arizona Cardinals with their guy Baldy coming up here on PHNX Cardinals?
Well, if you did that, then I get to talk about our friends at Rally House. So they are Rally House is the go-to spot to shop for all your favorite local Arizona team gear with tens of thousands of products to shop from. I can't wait till we get to go out there to see our friends in Glendale, but they also have locations in Tempe and Mesa. And they also, right now, is the place to cop one of the Cardinals' rivalry uniform jerseys. And I think they have the helmets, the hats, all the game day apparel you need. And again, the best part is they only carry Arizona sports teams. Not those. I don't want to walk into a Rally House and see a Christian McCaffrey jersey, barf, or a Sam Darnold jersey. Throw that in the trash where it belongs. Give me my Arizona gear, because every time you visit a Rally House, you're guaranteed to find something new, unique, and matches your game day vibe. Find your local Rally House location. Shop their entire product assortment online. Visit rallyhouse.com today.
And when you get there, you're making that purchase, you throw down that Mountain America Credit Union debit card. Of course, they got the checking account that has the perks for you, the My Style checking for your lifestyle at Mountain America Credit Union. Go crazy at Rally House with your MyStyle checking account. Everyone needs a checking account, but why not get one with built-in benefits like this one? Restaurant deals, mobile phone protection, telehealth access, identity protection, loan rate discounts, offers on travel and events, and so much more. Mountain America Credit Union. Visit them right now, macu.com/mystyle. That's macu.com/mystyle, and start to help get some perks by where you keep your money. Mountain America Credit Union. It's unbelievable. Hundreds of branches across the West here. Membership required based on eligibility. Some benefits require no-cost registration, activation. Terms, conditions, and exclusions apply, but check them out. macu.com/mystyle to apply.
Oh, Reed, so nice. We do it twice. Who, since the last time I did this, Reed, has been a part of the Supporters Club? We've added a couple more. Can we get to another 10 plus today for the real ones? The official Supporters Club badge, which has my fat face on it. Of course, hold the line with our guy Damon Dog. We got Nux. We've got, of course, my infamous live. We gotta find a place for Bo to be a part of the Supporters Club badge. So we have to embarrass him here in the coming weeks. But regardless, do yourself a favor, do us a favor, hit that join button down below, become a part of the Supporters Club.
Play, but I mean,
Baldy, underwhelmed with MHJ. What about Darius Robinson? We've seen some advanced metrics where he's been below average with his run defense, pass rush ability. You know, I push back on that narrative. Barely played last year. Really a complete redo now of his rookie season. He's healthy. Is the best thing for him to just continue to be out there and be exposed and play and try to get better under JG?
Well, the only way to get better is to play. But I mean, Stills, Calais, Dalvin Tomlinson, like they're better players. They show up, and so I've watched 2 games right now. I haven't seen Darius do anything. I mean, you can look at the stat sheet, that's one thing, but go watch the game and just see, is he getting off blocks? Is he disengaging? Is he pressuring the quarterback? Like, it doesn't look like he's doing much out there right now.
We talked a little bit about the defensive secondary. Obviously, Denzel Burke could get an opportunity with guys like Will Johnson and Garrett Williams be on the shelf as long as they could potentially be. The defensive front seven, as we've kind of touched on, looks pretty good. I mean, Josh Sweat looks like Super Bowl sweaty Jay. You got Baron Browning, who's, his pass rush win rate is through the roof. Zaven Collins, I think, looks good. And then Calais Campbell and Dalvin Tomlinson in the teeth of that defense are looking solid. What's your assessment of that? And is that something that can help maybe elevate a pedestrian to below average secondary?
I wouldn't call him pedestrian at this point. But I would say that, they're going to get tested. But I like what Nick is doing with some, like, even, the sack by Sweaty. I mean, it comes off a good stunt inside, and he came free. And, everybody has some form of a blitz zero look at the defensive line where they're putting 6 or 7 guys up there. And you're sort of trying to figure out who's coming, who isn't, what's the protection, how do we adjust? And you've got to play those games. I think Nick is very talented at that, at getting guys free. It's one thing if you've got great pass rush moves and you can win one-on-ones. And that's hard to do if quarterbacks are getting rid of the ball real quick. So you need a balance. You need guys that can win one-on-ones. That's certainly a part of this business. But you also need guys that can scheme guys free and get speed and really heat up these quarterbacks and speed up their amount of time that they have to decipher what's going on in the secondary.
Baldy, you're tuned in on the offensive line. We talked about Isaiah Adams coming into the regular season. He had a really nice training camp. And he and Jonah Williams, for whatever reason, have had a really tough time to start this year. I'm going to ask you from a coaching perspective. Clayton Adams goes to Dallas as their OC. They're looking pretty good by comparison, at least offensively. Justin Fry from Ohio State comes to Arizona. Is it as simple as like, okay, we've got a new O-line coach. We got to smooth some things out because they're not as stout up front as they were a year ago?
Yeah, but you don't see Derek Brown every week. That guy's just, 2 years ago when he was healthy, I think he set an NFL record. He had over 100 tackles from the defensive tackle position. It's never been done before. The guy's just a beast. And Isaiah had a hard time with him. Yep. And everybody's going to have a hard time with Derek Brown. He's healthy, and he's just a man out there. But you look, offensive line coaches, you can't take these guys for granted. Mm-hmm. Dallas ran the ball really good against the Giants, and the way that they ran it was different than what they had done. And that's what Schottenheimer wants. Not Clayton's gone, but not everybody has an offensive line coach that can develop a line, that can fix things game day, that can make adjustments, that can develop young players. And I don't know, I don't know much about, the new guy. Ohio State obviously, had a fantastic program. They had two great backs that are both playing right now in the league. But, this offensive line coaches, the great ones, they earn their money. It's the most important position coach on the entire staff, bar none. And so, because it's the most important position as a group. And so, I want to see a little bit here because they haven't run it well yet. And they ran it well last year against a lot of good teams. So I want to watch a little bit more right now.
We got Kyle Shanahan saying that Brock Purdy has a chance to play Sunday. If not, Mac Jones, who had 3 touchdown passes against the Saints. We turn the page. You got 2-0 teams squaring off in Santa Clara. Beyond Brock Purdy, this is a Niners team that's staring down, not having George Kittle. He's on IR and already had injuries, all up and down that roster. Who do you see has the advantage in this NFC West showdown? And what can the Cardinals do to maybe get the win on the road?
Well, here's one thing is, and I hope, I understand the question, but
yeah,
honestly, you can't look at, okay, Kittle's out. Look at Jake Tongas. He won the game for him against Seattle. He had 5 catches last week. The other tight end caught a touchdown pass last week. Kittle is special, but other guys have stepped up. They lost their left guard in the game. A rookie came in, Colby Connor, he played pretty good. Mac Jones played really well. But the real problem for the defense is going to be McCaffrey because he's starting to look like McCaffrey circa 2023. Now, he hasn't broken a long run yet, but he's catching the ball. He's stopping on a dime. You're starting to see McCaffrey come back. Now, I said last week I'm watching the game, he's really close to breaking a long one. And so that offense runs through McCaffrey, regardless of who's at quarterback. And so, he's getting a lot of touches, especially in the passing game right now. And when he's healthy, Kyle Shanahan can be as good as anybody at designing offense in this league.
How would you attack the Niners defense with the Cardinals personnel, given with what you've seen so far?
Well, I'd want to know where 97 is at all times. Bosa's playing great right now. But, look, the kid opposite him that they picked up, from the Eagles, Bryce Huff, he closed the game out last week. They've had 2 close games in a row. Bosa closed it out week 1 against Seattle, got a fumble, sack, fumble, and recovery against Sam Darnold to win the game. Last week, Bryce Huff did the same thing at the end of the game, got the ball out. That guy's he sacked that quarterback last week in 2.1 seconds. He's got a takeoff. So those 2 guys, and then just, Fred Warner's just Fred Warner. He's playing with his hair on fire right now. And they got a lot of young players there. Upton Stout's a young guy, Marquez Siegel. They got young guys that they do make some mistakes, but man, they look like they play with their hair. They play like Cardinal defensive players play, like Buddha plays. And so they're flying. They're flying to the football. They're fun to watch, and they're very violent. So if you don't know who D Winters is, that guy hits everything that moves. So they're much improved under Robert Saleh. They're much more aggressive. They're faster, and they present some problems right now.
Got any feel for the Cardinals two games into it? Maybe bigger picture.
Well, look, they spent all their resources on defense, and the defense is certainly much better. But I am concerned about what they have led up in the fourth quarter, because that's where these games are all won and lost, in the fourth quarter. So until they just shut somebody down for 4 quarters, I'm still, as we said from the beginning, cautiously optimistic. But they're an improved football team. I want to see Kyler in a big spot. Really, like we just saw Baker, the other night. I want to see what I've seen from Justin Herbert. These guys in big spots win games, tight games. And so I want to see that from Kyler. And, they haven't really been in that situation yet, but maybe, if you want to take control of the division and be on top, your quarterback's probably going to have to play pretty special, and certainly his best football to date.
Baldy, where are you at this weekend?
I'm right here in Philly to watch the Rams. The Rams and Eagles go at it. So it's an A game, man.
Cardinals chasing the Rams. Eagles class the NFC right now. Baldy, class of our show. We appreciate you, my guy. Follow him on Twitter. Check out his work. NFL ALLCITY analyst here with PHNX Sports. Baldy, we appreciate you, my guy.
Yeah. My pleasure, guys. Yep. Talk to you next week.
Great stuff from Baldy. More Cardinals talk coming up. Hey, I want to talk to you about our friends at Shady Rays. I'm a serious guy. They're serious shades, and I like them a lot. You want to know why? Because they're not flipping expensive like some certain other name brand Shady Ray competitors. I'm going to tell you right now, the one you realize you left your favorite sunglasses at the beach, the moment you left them on the roof of your car, at the gas station 3 states away, we've all been there. I was taken out by a robust wave on the sweet beach in Maui, and it was a difficult time for me, and Shady Rays came to my rescue. And again, now I wear Shady Rays all the time, and I don't worry about it. On a hike, on a concert, on a boat, wherever and whatever, I go to shadyrays.com, 30% off polarized sunglasses. Most of their sunglasses, by the way, are under $40. 35% off your first pair. I mean, they look and feel like name brand quality without the premium price. So again, throw them in the pool, hang out with your kids, put them on your dash. They're accessible, and try for yourself right now. The shades rated 5 stars, Bo, by over 300,000 people. Again, Shady Rays, they're changing the game. These sunglasses are made for real people in real life scenarios. Shady Rays, get them now.
For more than 15 years, Access Insurance, the agency of Arizona, has delivered affordable, reliable car insurance for drivers across the Phoenix metro area. They make it simple to get covered, accepting different IDs, driving histories, and license types, while partnering with over 20 carriers so you can compare rates and find the best that fits your budget. With bilingual agents at 9 Valley locations, Access is part of the community, ready to help you discover coverage and discounts you deserve. Plus, they accept both cash and card for your convenience. Access Auto, trusted by the community, rooted in Phoenix, and ready to help. All statements are subject to terms, exclusions, and conditions of applicable policy. In other instances, all current policy contract language prevails. Coverage is subject to individual policy holders meeting underwriting qualifications and state availability. Other terms, conditions, and exclusions may apply.
Injury report time. Johnny Venerable, Bo, Brack, PHNX, Cardinals, Bo, Niners, and Cardinals. A lot of limitations here Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah, and we saw Max Melton return to the practice field. As I said, didn't look like he had any limitations, but he was officially limited, of course, according to the practice report. We saw the return of Tip Ryman, too, limited. Surprise addition. How about left tackle Paris Johnson Jr. shows up limited with a knee. So you've got some concerns here, but not big-time concerns. Dante Stills, who's just become an analytical and statistical darling. He's having a great season through 2 games, limited with an elbow. He had a brace on there today. We got Cody Simon, wasn't wearing any of the non-contact stuff, so I think he's at the end of this concussion protocol. So you're looking at the Cardinals there, Johnny, and then a lot of DNPs below for the San Francisco 49ers. We know they're a little bit older of a team and have been dealing with injuries since the start of training camp. But one big key here was Brock Purdy returned in a limited capacity for the Niners.
Yeah, Trent Williams, old. Christian McCaffrey, old. Nick Bosa, physically old. A lot of rest players. They're missing one of their guards. The other guard's been out with a knee. Kyle Juszczyk is in concussion protocol. This is a team that at their very best, like I think the Cardinals still have a better roster, and they're not at their best right now. And I get it. Cardinals are going to miss 1 to 2 corners this weekend. No excuses. Your best players are playing this weekend. Trey McBride, Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr., James Conner, Paris Johnson. On the flip side, defensively, all the guys we just chatted about with Baldy. You got to take care of business against this team. Kyle Shanahan, I talked a lot of grief about the 49ers this offseason. I never argued the fact Kyle Shanahan's an A coach. Robert Saleh's helped them get to 2-0. This needs to be a comeback down-to-earth game for San Francisco. Like, hey, congrats. You played a couple teams that we feel like may or may not be very good. If the Cardinals want to assert their dominance in the division, this is the time. I don't care if Brock Purdy plays or not. If he plays, he's going to be limited with a toe. Make him uncomfortable. Make Mac Jones uncomfortable. No excuse to lose this week as we head into overtime. No excuses.
Not at all. But thank you to everybody who watched with our TV partners. The journey continues. Go PHNX.com. So it's been a hell of a show. We talked with the sigh of relief that I think we collectively gave out this morning when we got the injury news. Garrett Williams, not great, but best case considering relative to what we thought was going to happen. Will Johnson and Max Melton avoiding an IR stunt altogether. And then hearing from Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr., Baldy breaking it down as he always does. It's been a banner show, and I think it provides us a lot. It still doesn't move me from the idea that if it was Brock or if it was Mac Jones, this needs to be a game you can win.
Let's win with our friends' super chats, shall we? We got 2 new members kicking us off. Love to see it. Max came earlier today, 145. Max, a new member. Welcome, Max. We appreciate you, my friend. Here's Max with the Rob Lowe emoji. Love to see that. And then Owen, friend of the program, became a new YouTube member, Supporters Club at 442. We appreciate that. We've added a slew of new members. Do us a favor. If you're on the fence, let us know, DM us. Just $5 a month goes a long way. And kicking things off officially with our super chats today, Dana Ballno or Bo, $5. Thank you so much, Dana, who is a member. Immediate and deep routes breaks are always a strider too late to be hit at the end of the drop. The short routes are in rhythm, the all 22. I mean, something's off, whether it's K1, whether it's Marv, whether it's the play calling. The refinement that you see, Bo, from these other teams, the Cardinals, for whatever reason, just have not reached that level yet.
No, they haven't. And you're looking at a team that really kind of leaned into chemistry, continuity on the offensive side of the football. And that's why I think there's been such an uproar on a slow start offensively, is that you thought that this was all going to be ironed out, that there was going to be some chemistry there on full display, and you haven't seen it yet. You got to see it. So what's kind of keeping that from happening? Dana Baldner cooking the tapes and giving us some takeaways there. So I appreciate that. Always do. Keeping it going here with some Libertarian Sasquatch 199. Our defensive coordinator is a stud. Our OC is a dud. This is the way.
Perfectly said. No notes. 10 out of 10. Appreciate you, Libertarian Sasquatch. 199 back-to-back. Feels like the offense plays scared, too robotic. 100% agree. Every time I watch this offense, I'm like, you just never feel confident that, like, hey, they're gonna take it to them. They're gonna slice and dice this defense. It's always like, are they gonna turn the ball over? Are they gonna have a negative play? You hold your breath collectively, where it's like when I watch other teams offensively, I'm like, oh man, I can just sense the big plays that are coming. With the Cardinals, I don't know, Bo. It's a little bit like you're just holding on for dear life.
Gotta buck that trend. Keeping it going here. How about eight ball jacket?
David Putty making an appearance. Love to see that.
No one has mentioned the massive empty seats at the Cards' first home game. Any thoughts? That's a good point. It was Carolina. Carolina doesn't have a ton of fanfare. There were a few upper bowl empty seats for sure.
Here are my thoughts on that. And again, they're going to test this, especially with Seattle a week from Thursday. They have instituted a new ticket stipulation where you cannot sell your tickets as a season ticket holder to opposing fan bases, or you lose them. That's been instituted. I have made the argument, and I Stark committed to this.
Staunchly committed.
Staunchly committed, not Ned Stark. Staunchly committed to this, that if it means that you have some upper bowl seats that are empty, and I don't have to be spoon-fed another opposing fan base here because some selfish people want to make a buck. I'm okay with that. Have 3/4 of the stadium full with Cardinal fans instead of let's let the Niners and the Seahawks fraud it up in our building. So it does not bother me at all. Actually really enjoyed watching the telecast and the broadcast. So I applaud this move by the Cardinals. And by the way, other teams do it too. Cleveland does it. Multiple teams do. Until the Cardinals start winning consistently, like, I'm not going to tell people you have to go to games. Just give Jonathan Gannon a chance. And he's 7-3 in his last 10 home games.
Yeah. I'm going to let you read your guy Darth Vader's message here, just because that's your guy, Star Wars.
$4.99
in this one. I'm really curious about this.
I'm going to have to do this right after the show. $4.99. I was on with Donnie and Richie Johnny, if you didn't watch, I need you to watch the end of it and tell Donnie what a loser he is. Okay, interesting. I love Donnie Druin.
Yeah.
I have not watched his podcast with Richie, but I will watch it.
All right.
You asked me to, Darth Vader.
You're getting 2 views because I'm checking it out, and I got an inkling that Noah probably wants to know what's going on as well. So yeah, check it out. Love to support Donnie Druin and anything he's doing. He does good work with Richie over there. Keeping it going with Indigenous Daddy, $10. I do think the offense looks different, but limited by the O-line. Once the O-line figures it out, we'll be back on track. We should sit Will till Thursday night. Sunday is winnable without him. I agree with the back half of that. I thought it was interesting as we kind of didn't debrief too much from Baldy, but Baldy just talking about how big of kind of a war daddy Derek Brown has been defensively. But I don't see it with the Saints. Like, we need to see progress and development from Isaiah Adams. Like, I think, there's Will Hernandez looming. And, we don't know when he'll be healthy, but he remains on the active roster and has been a scratch the first 2 games. But at some point, as we get closer, maybe probably to the year anniversary of his injury, might be good enough to go here. You just need to see something. Like Isaiah Adams needs to have a pretty clean game soon for the Cardinals offensive line to get on the right track.
Niners don't have great defensive tackle play. And so if he gets exposed this week, what does that say ahead of Seattle, who has elite defensive tackle play?
He played well against the Niners last year.
He did. And Kyler Murray historically has been good against Robert Saleh too. I mean, he's cooked Robert Saleh with his mobility. And don't spare me the Robert Saleh savior talk. He got picked apart by Spencer Rattler last week. Come on now. What? Cardinals
got bailed out by some good, like Fred Warner, like Baldy said it, like the fumble recovery where he just picked it off of Kamara's helmet was a spectacular play. Like, that's nothing like that's in the scheme or the play calling. That's just good players making great plays.
Yeah, I'm just over this. Gross. Come on. I don't want to do this. Cardinals, you would help the show exponentially. Could you just hang a crooked number on these dudes, on these frauds? All right, I'm going to put you on the spot. Because we're doing our official predictions on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Over under Cardinals score 24 points this weekend.
I'm going to go over.
I think that wins the game then. I think if they score over 24 points, I don't see this defense giving up more than 21 points, 24 points. If this team gives up Mac Jones or a limited Brock Purdy score, the Niners haven't scored that many points to begin with. So you're saying over 24 points.
I am.
Okay. I would take that. I would sign up for that.
They scored 23 last year in the game that wasn't, it was the actual game. It wasn't a finale. It wasn't, let's play until the final whistle.
Right.
With 48 players.
Yeah. It was a weird game, though. The Niners lost their kicker in the first game, and a lot of Niner fans have been hanging on to that. And listen, the Niners had a better roster early on last season, and now it has deteriorated, and I don't think it's very good. So here's what you have to do. You have to come out and assert yourself and make the 49ers believe that they can't play with you, because they think they're hot shit right now. It's like, hey, we beat 2 teams. We're 1-0 in the NFC West. Doesn't matter who's at quarterback. It's like, make it matter.
Yeah.
This is a quarterback league. You have a quarterback advantage. If you lose this game, that you're just giving fuel to the fire of people who want real change on this Cardinal team.
Yeah. Kyler threw he had 6 total touchdowns against the Niners last year.
Yeah.
4 of those came in the finale. He had 2 total. I think he had 1.
Played well in San Francisco last year. He did. He played
outside of that pick.
Yeah.
Or no, that was a block. Was it a block?
No,
he had a bad pick, and then they had the block field goal.
Yeah.
It was a disaster his first half. You and I were sitting there saying things we regret if we'd set him on air watching that first half.
Marv played well in the second half. You got to feed.
Maybe the entire squad played great the second half.
It's going to be tough. Not going to be easy, but it's why they play the game. We want to remind everybody to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. We've had big viewership all week. We appreciate everybody here. And one more time, Noah, let's see it. Consider becoming a part of the supporters club here. We just started this true sicko level stuff here at PHNX. Want to welcome all of our new supporter members. There's tons of perks that come with it. We're fired up about game day this Sunday, Bo.
Yeah, been going on since 1925. It says Supporters Club 25. Unbelievable. It's been
Definitely
around.
not 2025.
Love it. As Johnny mentioned, we're off tomorrow, but doesn't mean the content stops. Got some great stuff hitting the YouTube page. Make sure you're subscribed. You've got those alerts set up for anytime we drop new content. So don't miss out on that. Some shorts coming your way. But otherwise, I mean, not much more. It's been a jam-packed show, talking Marv targets, talking offensive ball, talking breakdowns with Baldy. Miss any of it, rewatch the show. But it's been a good one, Johnny.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody here. Big thanks to Baldy, Noah, and Bo. I'm Johnny Venerable. Hit that like button. Drop a comment down below. What are the keys to the Cardinals getting the dub in Santa Clara? We'll see you on a Football Friday with the return of Hold and Fold the Line. See you then.
We all silly like the mayor.